Students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada, surrounded by the Pacific Ocean. I hope that everybody is having a super week so far. I hope that you're all healthy, staying ambitious, studying lots, working well. Students, in this class we are looking at an IELTS speaking part 1, of course, for the speaking section, and we're focusing on getting a perfect score. Anybody can do it as long as you practice, build your language skills, build your communication skills. You can get a band 9. It is not related to being a native speaker or not being a native speaker. Hi Mosam Thapa. Hi GSP. Carolina, welcome to our chat moderator. Welcome Amra. All right, good to have so many students joining in on the class. This speaking section topic will be about sleeping. Speaking part 1, there are questions about a general topic. That general topic can be just about anything. When I sat the IELTS exam about a year ago, then my topic was about math. Like, do I like math? Where did I study math? Who was my favorite math teacher? So even though speaking part 1 is quote unquote a general topic about you, it's still kind of a specific concept. So you could easily get some questions about your sleeping habits, sleeping behaviors, and so forth. So that's what we will target today. Welcome Jenny. Hi Isa, Erkin, Rashika. Nice to see so many of our members on time as well. Today, of course, is May 5th, and as many of you know, that is Cinco de Mayo, which is basically Spanish for May 5th, and it's a big celebration in many parts of the world for the Day of the Dead, celebrating our ancestors. So to those of you who are celebrating Cinco de Mayo, happy Cinco de Mayo. So this lesson, of course, is presented to you by aehelp.com, as usual, for academic IELTS. Check us out there. It's a great website for you to prepare for your academic IELTS test. gieltshelp.com for the general IELTS exam. We will actually use the websites today a bit to practice our speaking. This is our academic IELTS website here, and you can click this big red button that's just above my head that I just circled to join our premium IELTS package. It's indeed just a one-time payment for lifetime access. And you can use the discount codes from our classes and so on there. We've got this special discount code going on right now. It's audio 9. It gives you a 20% discount, and that's coming from our listening videos that we just released on the YouTube channel where you're at right now.
Welcome to Academic IELTS Success. World leaders in IELTS skills and strategies to score over 7.
Let me stop the audio there. There we go. It's background audio there for you with our successful students. So yeah, general IELTS, same kind of idea. We separate the two. If you're learning for general IELTS, you should focus on general IELTS. This is gieltshelp.com. And again, just click that big red button right there. One-time payment, lifetime access. We are an official British Council IELTS test registration center. We have a direct line to British Council, and we discuss IELTS with them all the time about what works, what doesn't work. So you're in the right place. All right. Meanwhile, Krishna, I see that you are writing in the chat and you have some good news for us. Thank you for sharing that, Krishna. Krishna Food PBT Ltd says, sir, I got my result. I got overall band 7. Krishna, congratulations. You get my first super big thumbs up of the day. Krishna, can you please send me a testimonial? We love to get testimonials from all of our successful students out there. So congrats on that, Krishna. Please send me your testimonial to Adrian at aehelp.com. And if anybody has questions or comments about our courses or about IELTS, you can always contact me there, Adrian at aehelp.com. You got Aiden listening, Krishna. That is awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I look forward to your testimonial. I see that. That's really cool. And thank you for coming back and sharing that. It encourages other viewers and other students. So that's super great. Okay. Students, if you go to your app stores on your phone, we do have apps as well. Academic IELTS Help for academic and General IELTS Help for general. Our apps are downloaded by thousands and thousands of people, as you'll see when you're downloading, and they link to the websites. We also have Instagram, IELTS_AE Help for academic, and GIELTS Help for general. Instagram's got lots of goodies for you as well. So definitely follow us. Check us out at least until you pass the IELTS exam, right? Okay, so we've got our schedule here from today, which of course is May 5th to May 7th. And the schedule looks like this, everyone. So today we've got speaking part 1 coming up right now. Everybody will join the chat and we will do live speaking practice. And then tomorrow we'll have writing task 2 for our members chat class. So that will be a full writing task 2 from start to finish with strategies. We'll do a listening as well. We did a listening. We started it last week, part 1 and part 2. So we'll finish that up with all of our subscribers listening parts 3 and 4. And then on Saturday, we'll have a writing task 1 class, and we'll have a speaking part 3 class. So lots of classes. The schedule is posted on our YouTube bulletin. Check it out, okay? And then we also are letting people know about this really cool special class that we are going to be conducting on this platform called Lighthall. Okay, Lighthall is a new piece of exciting software that is especially designed for live teaching, and they've got some really awesome tools to help teachers, and we decided to give that a try. So on the 15th, which will be a Sunday, at 15 o'clock Universal Standard Time. This is the link. It's kind of long. You'll have to type it, but you'll see it appear in a couple of places on our YouTube channel and a couple other places. So you'll be able to click on it as well. And yeah, Lighthall is really neat. So I hope to see many of you in that speaking class. So mark that in your calendar, May 15th at 15 o'clock Universal Standard Time. That's going to be a Sunday. Maybe it'll be late for some of you, but yeah, it's a great place for live IELTS teaching for others as well. Amu, Lighthall is not just for speaking. They have a lot of other great classes there, so that's why I'm kind of letting people know about it. Okay, so let's get into speaking, right? That's why you're all here, to speak. So speaking part 1 of the IELTS, about 6 minutes. And it's about you. So don't talk about the examiner, don't say you, and don't talk about people. It's about you. So use I, me, my. Speak in full sentences. Okay? All right, let's get right into it, everybody. So practice. This is speaking, everyone. So make sure you speak, okay? Speak, repeat. Copy what I say. Copy the corrections that I give students. Take notes. If you hear new vocabulary, write it down, okay? Use it. All right, that's why you're here. Be confident. We're all friends here. I'm not going to bite you. Don't worry. I have sharp teeth, but it's not for eating humans. So just be confident. Okay. Hi Islam Kaldar in Kazakhstan. Hope your day's going awesome. When you see me shouting at people, it's because I'm actually looking at all of you right here. Okay? Whoop. That wasn't the greatest idea, but I'm looking at all of you. So, yeah, that's why you might hear me referring to people and things like that. Okay. All right, there. Yeah. We're back on board. Okay. So speak and repeat, everybody. Speak and repeat. Copy my intonation, copy my enunciation, and my fluency as well. Okay. All right, so you go into your IELTS speaking exam. You arrive to the test center early. Go 1 hour early. You never know, traffic, road accident. You never know what can get in your way. You got to run to the bathroom. So go early. Find someone. Talk to them. Use English only. Okay. Sanjay. Awesome. You updated your membership level. Send me an email so I can hook you up with your new perks, okay? All right. And then you have to register 20 minutes before you walk into your speaking interview. They will ask you to leave all of your digital devices and anything that's not just basically your pen, pencil, eraser, water bottle in a secure room. Okay. Use English when you're talking to the staff. Even if they're not using English, use English. They should be using English. Okay. Use English with other people who are there. English only when you're at the exam center. You should only be speaking English all day when you're doing the IELTS. Okay. All right. And then eventually you go into your interview room, and it should be a private, more or less quiet interview room where you will be met by an examiner who's most likely already sitting, and they're waiting for you, just like me, okay, sitting here, and they'll say, please have a seat. You can respond, so don't be shy, don't be rude, say thank you, sit down. And then the examiner will ask to see your identification. These first few questions, these icebreakers, you have to practice them a lot. You have to really sound confident, natural, accurate for these first few questions, because even though they're technically not marking you for these questions, they are judging your speaking level from the first time that you say the first words to them. Okay? So they will say, may I see your identification? And you should immediately respond fluently, confidently. This is your chance to get yourself in the groove. Okay? Everybody hopefully will learn this expression. Get yourself in the groove with the icebreaker questions. Get yourself in the groove means feel the situation, be at one with the situation, right? So kind of continuing on with yesterday, May 4th, which is now officially Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Yeah, be at one with your speaking, as your Master Yoda would tell you, okay? I wonder if there's a Master Yoda emoji. All right, so get yourself in the groove with the icebreaker questions. That means that's where you should, build up your confidence and build up your fluency, right? So when you get this question, may I see your identification? Don't just go, yeah, sure. And then you show your identification, okay? So right away, take a deep breath. If you need to, the examiner will be okay with that. They know people are nervous. And then you can say, absolutely. Here is my passport that I had used to register for IELTS, and I used to check in just a few moments ago. Please take a look. Okay, nice and loud and fluent, all right? No hesitation. So one more time. Absolutely. Here's my passport that I had used to register for IELTS, and I used to check in just a few moments ago. Please take a look. I hope everybody repeated that. Okay. Rashika in our chat, one of our longtime members, Rashika, very studious, and you will do great in life, I'm sure, Rashika. Rashika says, yes, here's my passport that I used to register for this exam a couple of weeks ago. Please have a look. That is great, Rashika. Nice confidence. Amu. Okay, Amu, I'm going to give you a little bit of feedback here on this. Amu says, thank you for the smile, Amu. Amu says, yes, obviously. Here's my passport, which I've used to check in to this examination 30 minutes ago. Just a moment, please let me flip to my credentials page. Yes, here it is. Kindly have a look. All right, Amu, it's good for the most part, except for this word, obviously. Don't say that, okay? It sounds smug, where it's kind of like, huh? Like, yeah, obviously. I knew you were going to ask me that. Okay, so don't do that. Be polite. The word obviously is mildly rude in this case, okay? So, yes, certainly. It's hard to know which words in English would come across as rude, but that would come across as rude. So definitely not obviously, okay? So not obviously, all right? Yeah, certainly. Here's my passport, which I have used to check in. I like the present perfect here, okay? Check into this examination 30 minutes ago. Just a moment. Let me flip, not up to, we just say flip to, okay? So flip to my credentials. You don't need to say page. It's kind of too much. Yes, here it is. Kindly have a look. And I like to kindly have a look, right? That would really confuse me if somebody says obviously and kindly have a look. So there are lots of different ways to answer that question, and answer you shall, and answer fluently, answer confidently. Okay, so of course the next question is, what is your name? And there's kind of a secret question here. They will ask you, what should I call you? Answer both of these in one fell swoop, okay? One fell swoop means one quick, clear answer. All right, so answer both of these. Don't wait for that one. So answering both of these questions with one clear response shows that you prepared for the exam. Okay, and that's what you need to do. So, here we go. This is by Neetu. So Neetu says, my name is Vaiga Srijith. You may call me Vaiga. Okay, it's not bad. Honestly, I don't really like this part here. You may call me. The reason why is because it sounds like you're speaking to the examiner from a position of authority. So in most cases, in many English-speaking cultures, we only use the you may call me when you are in a higher position than your listener. So if you're the teacher, if you're the boss, for example, if you're the administrator, the manager, then you say you may call me. But when you're on an equal level, or if you are in a position where you need to give respect, so they are the teacher, they are the boss, they are the examiner, it's better to say something like, please call me. Okay, so that's more polite. Okay, so my name is Vaiga Srijith. Please call me Vaiga. It's more polite. Okay. All right, don't worry about the screen stopping. Let me know if that happens. I can always restart the camera as long as you hear my voice. That's what's most important here. Okay, so don't worry about that. It's just a quick restart. Okay, it's good that you let me know, but focus on the lesson. Cameras are tricky, especially with multi-screen presentations. Okay, all right. again, students, I'm kind of happy that sometimes the camera freezes a little bit, because really restarting it's not a problem, and it also lets me know what people are paying attention to. Repetition. Yeah, I know you're paying attention to my face, but repetition and listening to the audio and listening to my advice, okay? So hopefully all of you caught that, okay? You may call me, you're in a position of authority. You're speaking to a child, you're speaking to an employee, you're speaking to a subordinate, okay? Please call me, you're speaking to an equal, or you're speaking to someone in a position of authority, okay? All right, keep that in mind, all right? It does matter. So when the IELTS examiner is listening to you for a band 9, controlling respect, controlling politeness, okay, is very important, and you should keep that in mind, okay? So, and not even for a band, I would say even at the band 8 level, okay? So in order to get a band 8 or band 9, you must be able to control being polite, respectful, natural, and emphasis, the strength of your message. Okay, there's different ways to do that, so we'll talk about that a bit, all right? Okay, keep that in mind, everybody. That's really important. So if you're wondering what it takes to get a band 9, you have to control language. You have to control it at the cultural level, okay? All right, so the examiner will ask you lots of questions. Usually the first couple questions after your identification and your name have to do with just your general life, like school, work, hobbies, what you did in the morning, what you do on the weekends, and of course a very popular one, maybe something like where do you live? So when you answer this question, include your residence, okay, like a house or apartment, and also include city, state, country, region, okay? Any of those details are useful. They don't know if you're from the same city, so just because you're sitting the exam in New Delhi or in Rio de Janeiro doesn't mean that you're from there. The examiner can't know that. A lot of people travel for the IELTS exam, so you can't just say something like, I live right here, okay? It'll be like, okay, thanks for that. So you want to give details. You want to show that you're there for a conversation. You're not there to just get out, all right? If you're giving short answers, it makes the examiner feel like you're just trying to minimize your responses and then get out of there as soon as you can. So you need to give nice, full sentence answers, okay? Monkey D. Luffy says this. Okay, I'm just grabbing this from the chat and then copying it over. So Monkey D. Luffy says, I live in Kathmandu, which is not only the biggest, because it's unique, the biggest city, but also the capital city of Nepal. I reside in a 2-story flat with my parents and sister. Okay, periods come after the last word. That's good. Okay, so watch your articles the. When it's superlative, like best, most, fastest, in most cases we use the because it makes it unique. It's the one and only, okay? So keep these words in mind with superlatives, like biggest. Capital, of course, again, it's unique. There's only one, so it's the capital of Nepal. Okay, Monkey D? All right, I see you have one piece. There's your avatar. All right, so again, where do you live? Repeat after me. I live in Kathmandu, which is not only the biggest city, but also the capital of Nepal. I reside in a 2-story flat with my parents and sister. Now, Monkey D is doing something really awesome here. I want to emphasize and highlight that. Monkey D is using a correlative conjunction. Not only, but also. So there's the not only, and there's the but also. That is a correlative conjunction. So not only, but also, a correlative conjunction which is used to emphasize 2 points. Okay, remember what I said just a moment ago, that for a band 9, you have to control emphasis. Okay, I said it right here, emphasis, that's where I said it. You need to control emphasis. That is one way to do it. So using well-placed correlative conjunctions like not only, but also. The examiner will catch that. So the examiner will go, okay, they can use correlative conjunctions. So they didn't just say it's the biggest city and the capital city, but they said it's not only the biggest, but also the capital of Nepal. So nice emphasis, carry that with good pronunciation, you're getting a band 9. Okay. All right. And then comes the next question. What is your favorite food? Okay. Whenever you hear this question in the IELTS exam, favorite, make sure you only choose one. Okay. Choose only one answer when you hear the question favorite. I don't care if you have 2 favorites. I just want to hear one. Okay. The IELTS exam is not your place to tell the truth or to debate your opinion. It's your place to get a high band score so you can get into university and debate your opinion, or you can get a job and debate your opinion, okay? IELTS exam, examiner sees lots of students. They don't really care about your opinion too much, to be honest with you. All right, hi, I'm Reet. I will certainly help you to get that 6.5 in writing. Use the editing services on the website, okay? All right, so what is your favorite food? You should say something like, I just love pizza. It is both delicious and nutritious. It usually contains all 4 food groups: dairy, bread, meat, and veggies, and I eat it at least twice a month. I just had a pepperoni pizza last Tuesday. All right. Some of you might be saying, Adrian, you're crazy. Pizza's not healthy and nutritious. It might be delicious. Yeah, it is. Come on, there's some good nutritious pizza. IELTS isn't about the truth. The examiner's not going to be like, oh, did they just say pizza's healthy? That's not true. -1 point. No, that never happens. That's silly. Yeah, it's your opinion. There's some nutritious pizza out there. So, I just love pizza immediately paraphrases and answers the question. Okay, it tells them that it's your favorite. I just love pizza. Okay, clearly it's your favorite. It is both delicious and nutritious. So I'm using both, and it's another correlative conjunction. Okay, another emphasis on 2 points. Delicious, nutritious. All right. It usually contains all 4 food groups. Here's some nice vocabulary. They're judging you on your lexical resource, so you want to show that. Okay, bread, meat, and veggies. Those are your food groups. And I eat it at least twice a month. That's my quantitative information. Numbers are your friend for good communication, and certainly if you're reaching for a band 9, then, and which you should be, then you should be using numbers. To reach for band 8 and band 9 scores, use numbers, okay, in your communication. Very important. All right. Alize KC says, tomorrow is my speaking test. Wish me good luck. Alize, I wish you good luck. Keep some of these tips in mind, like using numbers, okay, is a really good one. All right. It's a really good one. Use numbers when you're speaking. They will help you to be more fluent, and they will certainly help you to be more coherent. Okay, so again, I just love pizza. It is both delicious and nutritious. It usually contains all 4 food groups: dairy, bread, meat, and veggies, and I eat it at least twice a month. I just had a pepperoni pizza last Tuesday. Okay, so here's an answer by Avash to this question. Okay. And Avash, unfortunately, this kind of answer does not get you the best score, okay? So band 8 or band 9, no, unfortunately not. And let me tell you why, okay? So Amash says, let me think. Really? You shouldn't have to think about your favorite food. I mean, most of us have a dessert or a food in mind that we just love. So most of us don't really need to think too much, or like a curry, you know, or something that you love, right? Most of us have, like I love sushi, for example. So most of us have a food that we can come up with very quickly. So saying, let me think for what is your favorite food, it's awkward. And then you say, there are many, but out of that, okay? So the problem with these two types of phrases for these early questions is this is the examiner. The examiner is going to think this. Okay, when you give this kind of a response, Avash, the examiner will think this. Okay, this candidate, so examiner thinks, this candidate is wasting my time with template responses to trick me into giving him or her high marks and to show false fluency. I'm going to give them a maximum score of 7 if they do great. That's basically what the examiner thinks at this point. So what does that mean? That means you have to avoid template speaking. You have to be original. You must avoid useless templates that waste the examiner's time and patience. Okay, so the examiners are there for 8 hours listening to people give answers, and they get irritated when they hear that. Okay, so keep that in mind. I think that's a good tip for who was that? That was Elise taking the exam tomorrow. So be original. Okay, very important. All right, so you have to stay away from that. Okay, you have to. It doesn't mean you can't use certain types of phrases and templates, but you have to use them correctly. You shouldn't, when somebody asks you what is your favorite food, you shouldn't say, "Wow, that's an interesting question. I've never really thought about it." Really, you've never really thought about your favorite food or food? Just pick one, right? It's like just say it. Just say it. All right, so. Having said that, we'll get into the general topic. So once the examiner asks you to see your identification, your name, what you should be called, where you live, what is your favorite food maybe, they'll say something like, okay, now let's talk about sleep. For part 1, I will ask you some general questions on a topic. Let's talk about sleep. Okay, and then they'll start asking you questions about sleep. And you need to be ready for that. So you need to immediately think of words like wake, go to bed, maybe some expressions like hit the hay, okay? And we're going to do this as speaking, everybody. So I'm going to take some volunteers for speaking for part 1, and then we will apply these strategies that I was just talking about. So using numbers, using correlative conjunctions, emphasizing, giving explanations. So we'll use all of these. And the way to do it is go to aehelp.com, register an account, okay? I highly recommend joining our premium package. I mean, it's up to you. I'm always surprised that a lot of students are really apprehensive, but those of you who use it, they're all like, oh wow, that was like money best spent. So use it. You can log in with a free account as well. I'll show you how to do that. And then go to your My Student account. Click on a blue button. It will be a blue button that will say Student Partner Speaking. Make sure that you can use the microphone and your speakers on your mobile or on your computer to interact. You can check with another person that's going to be in the chat. Okay, so that's really important. Test it out. If you have a proxy network or if you have a dynamic network, it could get tricky. Okay, usually these kinds of systems require Wi-Fi's or LANs or really good data, so keep that in mind. Do not use this system if you are driving. I should add that as a 7th point. So do not do this if you are driving or participating in a dangerous activity that requires your attention. Okay, so if you're on top of a 20-story building cleaning the roof, please don't chat. Okay, just listen. No, you should pay attention to the roof. Don't even listen. Okay, so don't do this if you're driving. All right, and then once you're in here, you can message me. You're gonna see my handle as Master. It's easy to see, all big letters like that. And then you'll see a blue envelope and you will be able to send me a message like, I want to volunteer. Okay, let me go through this. So Anish, Arthi, I see you there. Anh Hoang Tran in general English as well, so you can use this as well. It's all one big chat room. So let's go to aehelp.com. Okay, so this is the website here let me see, I can get that in there, www.aehelp.com. Okay, there you go. That's the URL. That's where you want to go. And then you can join the premium package with this big red button. Like I say, it's worth it. Or you can join for free with the try demo, the green button. And yeah, I see that my camera froze again, so just listen to my voice. I'll restart the camera in 2 seconds. It's a tricky camera issue with OBS, but not the end of the world. And let's see, there we go. Yeah, camera drivers. All right, so again, aehelp.com, click those buttons, and then you'll have a My Student account. Okay. Click on the My Student account. It will actually automatically log you in. So if you're already logged in, end the tour for now. The tour gives you an idea of all of the materials. So I'm in the premium version. So I have all my computer-based practice exams, my interactive course, my study books, my lesson videos, my audio CDs. So I've got all that in my premium package. If you have the free version, you might see something a little bit different. And then right above my head here, I have Student Partner Speaking. Okay, and then also there's this speaking interview practice. That's if you want to book a 30-minute practice interview session with me with marking and feedback one-on-one. Okay, so that's what you use. But right now we're using this Student Partner Speaking right there. Okay. All right, so you click on that and accept that you will be polite and kind to everybody, and then you will be in this interface where we've got lots of people in here. I should put my ears on now. Okay. And so we've got Maria, we've got Yash, we've got Amra, Son, Lucille, Aziza. We've got lots of people in here, and I see these little ones here. That means people are messaging me, okay, to volunteer, which is great. So I'm going to take one of these people and then we'll get right into it. Let me reach out to Amra. She's at the top here. Okay, and I will give as many people a chance as possible. We've got lots of time left in the class, So get in there, volunteer, build your confidence. Okay. All right, Amra. Are you ready? Amra says, yeah, sure. Ooh, that's loud. Hello, Amra. It sounds like you picked up, but I cannot hear your voice. I'm not sure why. You might need to check your phone or your connection to make sure that it's stable. And then give me a call back, okay? But I do not hear you. And the system should work, so try to check your settings on your phone, okay? Again, students, make sure you enable your microphone and speaker, okay? All right, Amra, we'll try later, okay? All right, so Sun is here. Sun says, may I volunteer? Yes. Are you ready? Yeah, and again, students, hang in there. You never know who's doing what and how long one of these conversations lasts. So I hope I'm plugged. Yeah, I may not hear the ringing, so it should be okay.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Son. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm very happy right now.
that makes me happy. All right, Son. Why are you happy?
And just this morning, my favorite team just won a match, and they got to the final.
Oh, great. So because of sports, what kind of sport and who's your favorite team?
It's football. The team is Real Madrid.
Awesome. I don't follow football, as you can tell, but I'm sure many people or many of our viewers knew exactly what you were talking about when you said that. That's great, Son. That's kind of how IELTS is, by the way, IELTS speaking. The examiners do engage conversation. So when you give them a piece of information like this, even at the very beginning of speaking part one, they might ask you a follow-up question like that. So if they ask you, how are you doing today? And you say, I'm really happy today, then they'll probably ask you, oh, may I ask why? And then you can give them a good detailed explanation. Okay, Son, where are you calling from? So where are you in the world?
I'm in Hanoi, the capital city of Vietnam.
Yeah, and I believe we've spoken before, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, Son, so I will ask you a speaking part one question about sleep. Give me a nice full sentence answer, and then I will give you some feedback. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, let's kind of start from the top, just so everybody gets a feel for this. So, welcome to the speaking section. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test, and I'm recording this for marking and clerical purposes. May I see your identification?
Yes, sure. Here's my passport that I used to register for this exam. Please have a look.
Okay, and what is your full name?
My given names are Chung Sun and my family name is Chen. Please just call me by my English name, Dimitri.
Dimitri. Okay, Dimitri. Part one, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. Where do you live?
I reside in a cozy detached house in the center of Hanoi, the capital city of Vietnam.
Let's talk about sleep. How many hours do you sleep in a day?
I usually sleep for 8 hours per day from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. It is a great way for me to recharge my battery and get ready for a new day. However, sometimes I wake up fairly early to watch football. Just like this morning, I woke up at 4 a.m. to watch the nail-biting games between Real Madrid and Manchester City.
Did you say 8 a.m.?
4 a.m.
4 a.m. Yeah, right. Between Real Madrid and
and Manchester City.
all right, I got you. Okay, that is wonderful. So, and that's really great. Dimitri, son. Okay, they'll say Dimitri. So, um, yeah. So that's wonderful. That was really great. That would be an easy band 8 to 8.5, maybe even a band 9. I think if you emphasize a little bit more, like I usually sleep from 8 hours a day, then you'll get even a band 9. But you're very, very close, if not at a band 9. Why? Because you're giving me perfect answers. Simply put, you're giving me lots of detail. You're being original. You're being fluent. You're communicating exceptionally well. So my questions are being answered in kind of an ideal way, all the way from the introduction. So you used correlative conjunctions, you used a great amount of detail, you used good quantitative information. So I said, how many hours do you sleep in a day? And you said, I usually sleep for 8 hours per day. You're also paraphrasing really well. So in a day, you paraphrase that as per day. And then you gave me the exact time of those 8 hours, so 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then you said, it is a great way for me to recharge my battery. We usually use a plural on that one, Son. So we usually say batteries, like as if you have multiple batteries. I think it's maybe because most devices take at least 2 batteries. I think. I don't know, right? Like you don't really see gadgets that just take 1 battery these days so often. So I guess we believe everything takes at least more than 1 battery. But yeah, so it's a great way for me to recharge my batteries and get ready for a new day. However, and then you even gave a nice opposition here. However, sometimes I wake up fairly early. This was really good, this however that you said. The only slight or minor issue I had with it was a little bit slow. So if you're going to give this kind of opposition and add a detail, it's great, but you have to be a tiny bit faster on it to be really natural. So recharge my batteries and get ready for a new day. However, so this however has to kind of come right away with the word day. There can be no pause between these 2 words. Do you understand why, Son?
No, I don't.
Because if you pause after the word day, then it feels like you're finished because you've answered the question that I originally asked you. But you haven't finished because you're trying to give me more detail, right?
Yes.
So you have to show me that right away. So these 2 words have to basically come almost together when you're doing this, okay? So it's good to do, but you want to make sure that those 2 words are coming together. Does it make sense now?
Yes.
Okay, that way you make sure that the examiner doesn't interrupt you. So they don't go, okay, where do you sleep? And then you don't have a chance to give that nice piece of detail. So let me repeat this answer that you gave. The answer was perfect. I'm going to repeat it. The only part that I'm going to change is the intonation and the pacing. So pay attention to that and then copy me after, okay? Try to copy the same intonation and pacing. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so here we go. How many hours do you sleep in a day? I usually sleep for 8 hours per day from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. It is a great way for me to recharge my batteries and get ready for a new day. However, sometimes I wake up fairly early to watch football, just like this morning. I woke up at 4 a.m. to watch the nail-biting game between Real Madrid and Manchester City. How many hours do you sleep in a day?
I usually sleep for 8 hours per day from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. It is a great way for me to recharge my batteries and get ready for a new day. However, sometimes I wake up very early to watch football, just like this morning. I woke up at 4 a.m. to watch the nail-biting game between Real Madrid and Manchester City.
That's a band 9. Okay, that's a clear band 9. So yeah, so this is kind of an interesting tip or trick at your level, where the pause has to come after the connector, because that gives the examiner the feeling of, okay, he's not finished. He's still got another piece of information, and I'm going to give him that extra few seconds to add that in. Okay, so this is where the pause should come. Okay, not before the however, but after. Same thing with just like this morning. You should put the pause after just like this morning. Okay, so you load the question basically, or you preload the question. Does that make sense? Or the answer?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so sorry, I'm going to say that you preload the answer by saying day however. Very good though, Son, very good. That was a really good example, and thank you for enabling me to show that kind of a trick for those higher level responses. All right, have a wonderful rest of your evening, Son, in Vietnam, and then we'll speak again in the near future, hopefully, okay?
Yes. Goodbye, sir.
Okay, bye, Son. All right, that was Son. Son did a really good job. Give him a thumbs up. That was a fantastic example of a high-level response, of a nice, fluent, accurate response grammatically as well. Okay, Mal, thank you for that. Carolina, thank you for the thumbs up. Yeah, so where you put the pauses when you're speaking is really important, okay? So if you pause in the wrong spot, the examiner might interrupt you. They might think that you don't know what you're saying, so you have to be careful, okay? All right, Lucille, let's see if we can catch you. Lucille's ready. Okay, are you ready, Lucille? Let's see. Lucille, very quick. Yes. Okay, great.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Lucille. How are you?
Same old. I'm a bit nervous. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Lucille, you volunteered last week, did you not?
Yes.
Okay. And you're in Taiwan?
Yes, Taipei, the capital
Okay.
city.
I remembered. All right. So my brain still works a little bit. That's good. Okay, Lucille, well, I hope you're having a great evening. I know it's really late for you, even later than it is for Sun. So it's nice that you're still here. Lucille, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Give me some answers, and then I'll give you some feedback, okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about sleep. How many hours do you sleep in a day?
Well, probably around 4 to 6 hours per day, because recently we have a serious outbreak of COVID-19 in my city. So I have to sleep in hospital.
Ooh. Where do you sleep?
It's a tiny room with 4 roommates. It's tiny and cozy, and actually it's provided by my hospital for free. I think it's one of the complimentary service from the hospital.
Okay. All right, that's good. All right, well, good. It's kind of scary, but it's good. Okay. Good answers. You have really nice English in the sense of good vocabulary, good grammar, coherent. Pronunciation's quite good too. I have to pay a little bit of attention to catch every word that you're saying, but I do catch it. So I'm not confused by what you're saying. So I would say that your pronunciation is around a band 7, your grammar band 8, your fluency band 8, coherence overall, an overall score I would say is about a 7. Okay, if you work on your pronunciation a little bit and you change the information a little bit, I think you can get 7.5, even an 8. Okay. So one of the issues I had with your response is a piece of missing information that I was guessing, but you didn't say it, and that made it difficult for me to have full understanding. So my guess is that you're a nurse. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm a registered nurse working in the critical care unit.
Why didn't you tell me that? so I had to guess that, right? Like, you're telling me that you sleep 4 to 6 hours a day and you're sleeping at a hospital, and at my first reaction, honestly, Lucille, was like, oh my goodness, is she sick right now? Like, is she a patient in a hospital? And then I'm like, no, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. She has to be working in the hospital. So you can't assume that the examiner knows what you know, right? You have to give them those important pieces of details. So here, when I say, where do you sleep? It was good that you didn't panic and you realized that, okay, he's kind of asking me what I already answered. Connect it, Lucille. So say, well, as I had just mentioned. And then you're using a past perfect, which gets you points. So, well, as I just mentioned, I spend my nights or my sleep at the hospital. And then look at this nice adjective clause coming up here, where I work as a nurse in ICU. Okay. Most English speakers, so there are some acronyms that English speakers know really well, no matter where you are. And the intensive care unit at the hospital, we abbreviate that, or sorry, I should say we use the acronym ICU. Are you familiar with this acronym, ICU?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just think of it's not, appropriate to just speak up the ICU in the test because it's kind of, synonym.
Yeah, no, they will know that. So if you say ICU, we use that. Most people will not actually say intensive care unit. They will say ICU. So, as I had just mentioned, I spend my nights or my sleep at the hospital where I work as a nurse in ICU. And then you can give this, and now I have perfect clarity and I can give you a better score. So it's a tiny room with 4 roommates. Yeah, I bet that's pretty tricky. Actually, it's provided by my hospital for free. You said, I think it's definitely one of the complimentary services. I mean, it's the least that they can do for all of you wonderful people working to help those in need. So this last sentence was a little bit awkward. It's a clear sentence, but it's a little bit strange to say.
Should I range like I think it is the only complimentary service that can provided by the hospital.
I don't think that's true. They probably give you like free water and maybe an ice machine or something like that. Come on, it can't. They give you a blanket. It can't be the only thing. Okay. This is where I would include the explanation. So the reason for this, and you said this, is because there is a COVID outbreak. So I'm on duty all the time and putting in a lot of overtime hours, okay, which I'm guessing that you're doing. So so that would be your most accurate, clear answer here. Let me repeat this and then copy me, okay, Lucille? Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. All right, here we go. So where do you like to sleep? Well, I like to sleep at home, but these days, as I just mentioned, I spend my nights or sleep at the hospital where I work as a nurse in ICU. It's a tiny room with 4 roommates. Actually, it's provided by my hospital for free. The reason for this is because there's a COVID outbreak, so I'm on duty all the time and putting in a lot of overtime hours. So where do you like to sleep?
I like to sleep in my room, but as I had just mentioned, I spend my nights or my sleep at the hospital where I work as a nurse in ICU. It's a tiny room with 4 roommates. Actually, it's provided by the hospital for free. The reason for this is because there's a COVID outbreak, so I'm on duty all the time and putting in a lot of overtime hours.
Nice. Okay. All right. That was great. So there you had definitely the content to make sure that you're getting at least a 7.5. So that answer would be a clear 7.5, more towards the band 8 level, because band 8, of course, is what's called a very good user of the English language. And this would be considered a very good use of the English language, right? To just say it generally. Okay, Lucille, so that's really good. Keep it up. Most important tip here for you is don't think the examiner knows what you know, so you have to put in those you can't forget that key piece of detail that I'm a nurse at the hospital. So I like to sleep at home, but I'm sleeping at the hospital these days. Okay, so you have to put in that detail, okay?
Okay.
All right, well, all the best to you. Everybody watching, wish Lucille, give her some energy. She's doing a wonderful job, and thank you for doing that, Lucille. Thank you for putting yourself at the mercy of such a difficult situation and helping all those people in your work. Thank you for that.
Thanks, you, tutor.
Okay, bye, Lucille. Have a great rest of your night. Bye. Okay, hopefully Lucille gets some good rest as well. And what an amazing person, right? She's not only doing all this work at the hospital, but then comes to this chat and practices English and practices for IELTS. And of course, as you can imagine, in the hospital, there are a lot of people who speak English only because they might not speak Mandarin or Cantonese or local language. Okay, let's check out someone else. All right, we've got lots more to go here. I love meeting all you beautiful people, by the way, in these interactions. I think it's just amazing how many wonderful people there are in the world. Aziza, just kind of moving down the list, but by the way, students, it doesn't mean I'll keep going down the list. So Aziza, are you ready? You participate exactly by what you're doing. So you send me a message, I'll message you back. If you're there, I can call you. So I'm going down the list right now, but I'll also randomly kind of just jump around, okay? So don't, if you're lower down on the list, don't panic, okay? I'll move around a bit more sporadically as well. Thanks for that, Samina. I see your comment there.
Hello.
Hi, Aziza.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. I'm full of energy. It's a bright new day. Aziza, may I ask, where are you today in the world?
Living in Turkey, Ankara, the capital.
Ankara, Turkey. All right. And how is life in Turkey today?
It's a good day. The weather is getting colder. Overall, we're enjoying the spring.
Okay, just like us. Yeah, it's a very cold spring this year. A lot of people are complaining about that here as well. So we've never really had spring so cold here in Victoria. And I guess you're kind of experiencing the same in Turkey.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah.
But the flowers are blooming, and that's the spring sign.
Yeah, I mean, same for us here. We've got lots of flowers. Victoria's called the Garden City internationally. And we've got lots of flowers here in Victoria, and plants and trees. And they like it. Flowers and trees don't necessarily like hot weather. They just like a lot of sunshine. They need a lot of sunshine, and they need it to be mildly warm, but then it's good for them. Okay, Aziza, may I ask, why are you taking the IELTS exam?
I want to proceed with my master degree in nutrition. So that's why.
Okay, master's degree in nutrition. Now, are you planning to do that graduate degree abroad or locally in Turkey?
No, I'm looking for Canada or in US. But still not decide which university I would go for.
Okay, good. So, so you're doing it internationally, so you need the IELTS for your English proficiency, for your student visa. Now, for master's degrees, Usually they need a band 7 for yeah. So what your goal has to be is a band 7.5. Okay, your goal should never be the exact cutoff, because then, you know, if you get half a point less, then you're kind of like, ugh. So you should be aiming for 7.5. So band 7 means that you are a good user of the English language. Band 8 means that you're a very good user of the English language. 7.5 is somewhere between the two. So it's between a good and a very good. That's what you should be aiming for. Okay?
Yeah, that's my goal.
Awesome. You've got your target. I just got to go get it, right? All right. So let me help you with that. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. I'll take some notes on my end, and then I'll give you some feedback. You ready?
Sure.
All right. So still talking, of course, about sleep. Where do you sleep?
I sleep more in my room. I had a queen bed with 2 pillows and a duvet. I use the 2 pillows, one for my under my head, and the other one sometimes to support my back, and sometimes to, if I feel cold, I hug it. This my routine. This
When
is
do
my
you go to
routine for
bed?
most days. Most nights I go early, as 10 or 11 p.m. Because I'm early bird, so I like to wake up early and to have a full night's sleep. As yesterday, I went as early as 9 because I was exhausted, and I wake up early at 5 a.m.
What helps you sleep better?
There's a lot of routines. One of them to cut caffeine and to get ready 2 hours before bedtime, to get the phones and the blue light.
Okay, let me give you some feedback. So that was good. First of all, that was good. That was good. Okay. All right. My feeling is that you have a lot of English vocabulary, grammar in your head. You've learned a lot of English through the years. You've taken a lot of English classes, possibly in public school, and also maybe some private lessons, and that's great. What's most important for you is what you're doing right now, is to practice, to use it. Okay, so you have all the tools. It's like you have a big toolkit of English, but I get the feeling that you don't have as much experience as what you need with those tools, with that vocabulary, with that grammar, to really be hyper efficient, super efficient with it. So the speaking is...
that's a big for you.
Yeah, that's why you're here. Of course, the IELTS breaks down the speaking mark into several categories. So fluency and coherence, grammatical range accuracy, lexical resource, and pronunciation. Now, for your fluency and coherence, and realistically, and I hope everybody's listening here, your fluency and coherence score is basically your overall score. Whatever they give you there is basically what you end up with, because that's the reality of your speaking. How fluently and coherently you speak is your speaking, is your communication. So for that, you are at about a band 6 level. 6 to 6.5. You definitely need to improve by about a band score, okay, to get your target for the speaking section. And that will come with practice, lots and lots of practice. So lots and lots of speaking partners. Use this chat interface on the website. Hire a private tutor if you have the chance. So lots and lots of speaking, okay? You don't need to focus on learning more words or more grammar. You just need to focus on using what you have, okay? Your grammatical range and accuracy, I think, is about a 7, 6 to 7, but it's fine, it's enough. Your lexical resource is an easy 8. Your pronunciation is an 8, so you're totally fine there. Okay, so here I asked you, when do you go to bed? And you said, most nights I go early as 10 or 11 p.m. You missed a word here, as early as. It's kind of, in English, we have this redundancy in this scenario. So most nights I go to early. Most nights I go to bed early as 10 or 11 p.m. As I'm an early bird, so I wake up early. Okay, so there were a lot of earlies there. So I would have given a number here instead. You eventually did in your example, and I caught that, but I would have given it here. So I wake up at 5 a.m. to do exercise and get ready for school. Okay, what you want to do when you're thinking about your answers is easy answers, easy ideas. Okay, let me show you. So here the example came, but it came a bit late, and you probably wouldn't have had a chance for that if I weren't typing. I would have just asked you the next question. But it's good that you thought about the example. So you said, just like last night, I went to bed at 9 p.m. because I was exhausted from work and school, and I got up at 4:30 in the morning. Okay, all right. And then I asked you what helps you sleep better. Now, you said, there are a lot of routines. So you were trying to buy a bit of time here, and I felt that to kind of think about, okay, what helps me sleep better? There's a lot of routines. You can also use a phrase like, it's a good question. Let me think about it. It's realistic to use it in this case. Okay, and then you can still say there's a lot of routines that help me. Use the question to get a good night's rest. Okay, and then you said one of them is to cut off caffeine, right?
Yeah.
That's not how we say it in English.
Reduce caffeine intake.
No, I liked how you tried to use a phrasal verb there. It's not cut off though. It's a little bit different. It's not cut off. It's cut. What do you think? If it's not cut off, you have to. I'll give you a little bit more help. You have to replace the word off. Maybe somebody in the chat will give you a hint. It's cut. Okay, Mal says.
Cut out.
Yeah, cut out. That's right. Mal says down. Cut down caffeine is okay, but the better one is cut out caffeine. As I'm reaching for my coffee. Yeah, cut out. It's cut out caffeine. Okay. So
I'm always wondering what you are drinking.
In this one here, I have a bit of coffee, and in this one here, I have water. So I hydrate and I keep myself energetic.
Hydrated.
Yeah, I usually just drink water, but these days I'm drinking a little bit of coffee. I've been really busy, so it's giving me that extra boost. Okay, so one of them is to cut out caffeine and to get ready for bed 2 hours before hitting the hay. Let's put a nice idiom in there. Hitting the hay means literally putting your head onto your pillow and trying to sleep. So hitting the hay. And then you said, and to cut the phones. Do you know what it means to cut the phone?
Yeah, I know. I mean to stop using. I want to say stop using phones and electronics before bedtime to reduce the blue light.
Yeah, so if you're not sure of the expression or the phrasal verb, don't use it. Use the literal language. So literal language here is to turn off the phone, right? So to turn off the phones and blue lights, okay? Because if you say cut the phones, you might even get a smile from your examiner, because it literally means like you cut your phone line and that's it. Next day you're calling the repairman to get your phones working again. So you don't cut the phones, okay? You turn off the phones. All right, so to turn off the phones and the blue light. Why? So that the mind and eyes can rest. Okay. All right. So little bit of corrections to make it clear or more clear, coherent language, and a little bit of extra information to make it more accurate. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but otherwise good, okay? You've got a lot of English, and that's great. You just have to use it. So here we go. Let me repeat the question, and then copy after me. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So what helps you to sleep better? Why? That's a good question. Let me think for a moment. There's a lot of routines that help me to get a good night's rest. One of them is to cut out caffeine and to get ready for bed 2 hours before hitting the hay, and to turn off the phones and blue light so that my mind and eyes can rest and I fall asleep quickly. Okay, what helps you to sleep better?
That is a good question. Let me think for a moment. There's a lot of routines that can help me to get a good night's sleep. One of them is to cut out caffeine and to get ready for bed 2 hours before hitting the hay, and to turn the phone off and to reduce the blue light so my mind and my eyes can fall asleep quickly.
Nice. Yeah, good. That was good. So you did exactly what I suggested, where if you're not sure about the phrasal verb, then replace it with the literal English. And by the way, using literal English is not a bad strategy because it does help your lexical resource marks. So when you have that vocabulary, it's good to use. Okay, that was wonderful. So keep coming back, keep practicing, Aziza. And this page that I just switched back to, so this chat interface, make sure to use it, okay? So it's great that you're practicing with me, but don't be shy to, send a message to Amu or Celine or Amra when they're here and say, hey, do you have 20 minutes or 10 minutes, 5 minutes to just practice with me a little bit? It's absolutely free to use with other students. And then if you want to book a full IELTS speaking interview with me from start to finish, part 1, 2, and 3, you can click this yellow button that I just circled there, the speaking interview practice. It's $25 US, okay, but it's worth it because you do a full interview, I give you feedback, you get the recording, you can listen to it again, so it's a good way to improve. Okay, Aziza?
Yeah, sure. I will do it near my exam.
Whenever you're ready.
Well, I will use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready. Okay, Aziza,
thank you.
And all the best with your studies and with your plans for your master's. Have a lovely rest of your night.
You too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so that was Aziza. Okay, let's take another person. So again, these classes, as many of you know, we're now doing 90-minute classes. So one of the reasons we've done this is so that more and more students can get chances to practice, okay? So let's go for Kwan. Kwan sent me 5 messages. I think Kwan is really ready here. Okay. Kwan says, this is the first time I've had the chance to talk with a foreigner. Well, Kwan, I'm a local in my country, but sure, yeah, let's do it, okay? Are you ready? I get what you mean. I'm just kidding. Okay. Are you ready, Kwan? Are you still there? I will reach out to you. Okay. Kwan says, yeah. Hello, Kwan. I hear that you picked up, but I don't quite hear you. Could be a device issue, could be a connection issue on your end. I'm not sure. You might have to check that, Kwan. So Kwan, I'm really sorry that you don't get the chance to speak with a foreigner right now. Again, you're just hearing me, but don't give up. Check your connection and check with some of the other people in here to see if you can connect with them. Get some advice from the chat. If you're using Apple or Android or PC, what could be the issue? I'm guessing you're maybe in Vietnam, so maybe reach out to somebody else. Like Sun was in Vietnam, in Hanoi. So it could be that. Okay, Kwan, we'll try again later though. Come back, I'll remember you, okay? I won't forget. All right, so that was Kwan. Me. Longtime member of ours. Let's see if Mi is still here. Mi, are you ready? I believe Mi is also in Vietnam, so Mi could be a good person to ask about what's going on there.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mi. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you, Mi, for asking. We haven't spoken in a while, I think in a few weeks. How's life treating you?
We've just I spoke to you about 5 days ago.
Oh,
You remember the reading class? Do you
okay.
remember? The
No,
reading
I've
class?
completely forgotten. I'll be honest with you. A lot happens in my life, but I don't think we've done. I mean, we haven't done speaking like this in a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, Mi. Well, it's good to have you here. And Mi, just maybe a little help for Kwan here. You're also in Vietnam, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you using a PC or a mobile to use this chat?
I'm using a laptop.
You're using a laptop. Are you using Apple or PC?
MSI.
MSI. So you're
You
using.
know.
Yeah, you're using AMD. Okay. All right. Good. So yeah, using laptops. And are you using a Wi-Fi connection or a LAN connection?
I use Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. Yeah, Wi-Fi LAN. It's usually the better way to go for these kinds of setups for sure. Okay, Mi. Let's get into some questions, and then I will give you some feedback. Okay, ready?
All right, I'm ready.
All right.
A little bit nervous.
I don't need to be nervous. It's all good. You've been here enough. All right. So here's your first question. How do you feel when you do not get enough sleep?
When I don't have enough sleep, I usually feel really tired and exhausted in the next day, and moreover, I will get angry easily. Like about 5 days ago, I stayed up late at about 5 in the morning, and I had to wake up at 8, and I couldn't control my anger with everyone around me.
Have you ever had difficulties sleeping? If yes, why?
Yeah, of course. Because I am a coffee addict, and I drink a lot of coffee during the day, about 2 or 3 cups of coffee, and I also drink a lot of tea. So I think that is the reason why I sometimes couldn't sleep at night and had to stay up really late. Like last night, I went to bed at 3 in the morning.
Okay. Let me give you some feedback. Very nice fluency. I could not keep up with you typing. That's good. Okay. So that was solid. That's about a band 7 to 7.5, Mi. It's really nice. Obviously, you're practicing the right strategy. So you're really paying attention to answer, explain, example. And that's like, the bread and butter of a good score for the IELTS exam. Bread and butter means the foundation, the basis to get a good score on the IELTS exam, because it's the basis for good communication. When somebody asks a question, We give an answer, we give the reason, and we might give an example of that to make it clear, and then that will suffice. That will help that person clearly understand our perspective. So you did a good job there. There are definitely a couple of improvements that you could make in these answers. I'll show you what those are, okay? And since you've been in these classes for a while now, instead of actually telling you, I will ask you here in a second. So here I asked you, how do you feel when you do not get enough sleep? And then you said, when I don't have enough sleep. That was really good, okay? Because you reflected the conditional nature. So this is a real condition. When you do not get enough sleep, you used the condition. You said, when I don't get enough sleep, I feel really tired. I like how you didn't overcomplicate it. You just went for the clear, easy answer. Yeah, that's the same for most people, right? We feel tired if we don't get enough sleep. So you said, I feel really tired. And then here, this word, exhausted, your pronunciation was a bit off. I figured out what it was, but it wasn't a clear pronunciation. So this is where you would get like a little negative for pronunciation just because it's not pronounced clearly enough for a lot of people to understand. So one more time, me. Exhausted. Just copy me. Exhausted.
Exhausted.
Egg, like an egg, like the food. Egg. Exhausted.
Exhausted.
Much better. Exhausted.
Exhausted.
Very good. Yeah, it's got a bit of a tricky pronunciation. A lot of people have difficulty with that word. I think even some native speakers. So exhausted. Yeah. It's a good word to know because it also is used in a lot of other forms, like the exhaust of cars. So it's used in many contexts. So it is a good one to know. Okay, and then you said the next day, and I get angry easily. Okay, and then you said, like the other day, I stayed up really late, like 5 a.m. In the morning, and then I remember you said, because I'm very visual, so you said, and I got up at 8. And you said something like I got angry with people.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got angry with people was a bit repetitive. So that's where you would get a bit of a negative for lexical resource potentially, and lexical resource affecting coherence. What would be another way to say getting angry with people? So how could you have paraphrased that a little bit to get a better score?
Angry. Frustrated.
Yeah, so frustrated with my siblings and friends. Okay, so frustrated, or another word that you could use is irritable. I was irritable. Irritable. Okay. Irritable. That's another tough one to pronounce. Irritable.
Irritable.
Yeah, okay. So that's another way. I was irritable all day. Okay. All right. And then I asked you this question. Have you ever had difficulty sleeping? And then you said, yeah, of course, because I'm a coffee addict and I drink a lot of coffee during the day. Very honest, like 3 or 4 cups. I was like, ooh, yeah, I'll have a cup at 8 in the morning, but that's it. Okay. So what's the grammar of this question? Have you ever had difficulty sleeping?
Present perfect.
Good. So what should have you done to give yourself the chance for a better score?
Add present perfect in the answer.
Yeah, especially in the IELTS. So in the real world, we often reflect present perfect in natural English when we hear present perfect. So it's often the case, but not always. However, in the IELTS, you should always reflect present perfect. So what's the easiest way to do that? Can you tell me how you can change this answer to immediately reflect the present perfect?
Yes, I have had difficulties in sleeping.
Yeah, so just use the question, right? So even right away, this, yeah, of course I have. That's the I have. So when we say, yeah, of course I have, that's present perfect, because in English, this actually includes the meaning of, yeah, of course I have had difficulties sleeping. So to English speakers, when you say, yeah, of course I have, you've actually just used the present perfect, because you intrinsically add the rest of that. So, but in the IELTS, it's good to add clearly the whole response. So yeah, of course I have had, and instead of difficulties, what could be another word that you could use? Just to paraphrase.
Challenging?
Yeah, challenges.
Challenges.
Yeah. So yeah, of course I have had challenges getting to bed. Right? So that would be a full paraphrase. So yeah, of course I have had challenges getting to bed. And then here, I would use the present perfect again, just to show the examiner that, hey, look, I'm really comfortable with present. You ask me present perfect, not a problem. So because I have been a coffee addict for years, and I drink a lot of coffee during the day. Now you've used present perfect twice, so the examiner is basically forced to give you a better grade, okay? So here we go. Let me repeat this question, copy the answer, okay? So here we go. Have you ever had difficulty sleeping? If yes, why? Yeah, of course I have had challenges getting to bed because I've been a coffee addict for years and I drink a lot of coffee during the day, like 3 or 4 cups, and I also drink tea. Last night I went to bed at 3 in the morning. I was staring at the ceiling. Have you ever had difficulty sleeping?
Yeah, of course, I have had challenges getting to bed because I have been a coffee addict for years and I drink a lot of coffee during the day, like 3 or 4 cups. And I also drink tea. Like last night, I went to bed at 3 in the morning and I stared at the ceiling.
Right. Yeah, probably that expression exists in every every culture. I'm staring at the ceiling. Yeah, I've had that happen when I made the mistake of drinking a coffee in the afternoon. Okay, me, that is really good. So pay attention to the grammar, okay? And if you know you have, like, if you know that you have a bit of a challenge pronouncing the word exhausted, avoid it. Then just in the IELTS, don't say it, okay?
All right.
Other days, practice it, get the right pronunciation. But if you know you're going to have a word that's avoid it and just say tired, okay, or low on energy.
Okay.
So use something that's easier to pronounce so that you don't lose that mark. Okay, me, thank you so much for volunteering and helping me point out those strategies and tips. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. You're very welcome.
Thank you, sir. Goodbye.
Bye, me. Okay, so that was me, and she did a fantastic job, one of our regular students, and you can see that when somebody is regularly attending these classes, they have a good idea of what they need to do. So even if they don't do it, they realize, oh yeah, that's what I should have done, and they improve. I can tell you with 100% honesty that me has definitely improved her English, but also her communication, participating in these classes and just being studious. So that was really good. Give me a thumbs up. That was really cool. We love to see new students. We love to see students come back. Thank you so much to all of our volunteers. Again, do remember that you can book a speaking session with me with this button here. Right now, we're using the website aehelp.com. It's a secure website. We're world leaders in IELTS preparation, aehelp.com. Okay, and what I recommend to all of you is don't sit the IELTS exam 3-4 times. Learn the right strategies, learn the right materials the first time. Go to aehelp.com and click this big red button to join our premium package. It doesn't cost a lot at all, okay? We're having a little bit of payment issue in Vietnam, so be careful with that, just in Vietnam. So for our Vietnamese students, use the coupon code audio9. Audio9 will get you a 20% discount. We just uploaded 2 new listening videos to our YouTube channel as well, so check those out. Carolina, thank you so much for moderating our class today and our chat. That's always really helpful. I saw that you gave a lot of good advice and tips to students. Everybody remember, we'll have that special Lighthall class on the 15th of May. We've got more classes for you tomorrow. Okay, we've got the writing and the listening tomorrow, so check that out. And again, aehelp.com. and for academic IELTS, and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. And I'm wishing all of you an awesome rest of your day or rest of your night, and much love wherever you are in this world right now. Bye, everyone.